Judge Merchan said that Donald's attorney was losing all credibility. But where I am stuck is Judge Merchan withholding judgment. Welcome to Law and Society, and let's discuss this and also the federal judiciary's relaxed way of dealing with Donald Trump. It is customary uh, for judges, not customary, it's common practice for judges to withhold judgment on matters that are ongoing during a case and then rule on them in a written order and explain it further. And this gag order uh, falls into that category. Now, but on the flip side of that, the whole point of a gag order is deterrence and doing so in a timely manner. So Donald Trump violated the gag order 3 times. DA Bragg brought 3 violations for show cause hearings. Then at the hearing today, it was disclosed that there are 7 more violations that the DA is asking the court to rule upon. And the DA is saying that we don't want, we're not asking for incarceration, we're asking for the maximum of $1,000 per violation, which amounts to about $10,000. Now, mind you, even if Marshawn puts, grants that order, $10,000 is not much for Donald Trump. He was already gagged for $15,000 in the Agent Carroll case by Judge Engoron, and I think it was Judge Engoron. And then, so the money is not that important that he's being fined, because he can pay that off right away. And I believe he will continue to violate unless Judge Merchan rewrites the gag order and specifies in greater detail what can and cannot be said, and then imposes the 10,000 fine, and then warns Donald Trump that any further violations of the new revised gag order will result in incarceration or restricted movement in some way, shape, or form. That's something that I can live with, but I am increasingly uncomfortable with how relaxed the judiciary is in handling Donald Trump. As I said, with the federal case that is going on in DC, the federal case of criminal conspiracy and obstruction and conspiracy to obstruct and conspiracy to deprive us of our rights, that case has been on hold since February 6th because Donald Trump has been appealing on the basis of presidential immunity, interlocutory appeal. That hearing, the oral arguments in front of the Supreme Court, will be on the 25th, which is Thursday. So tomorrow, Wednesday, there is no court in New York. Thursday, court, I assume, will resume in New York, but the Supreme Court will convene for the oral arguments of Donald Trump's immunity case. So the Supreme Court already delayed the case by about 45, 50 days when they set their version of expedited schedule for the oral arguments and for the appeal of the narrowly tailored question of whether former presidents have immunity from criminal prosecution for acts that are alleged to be official while their tenure in office. So that question, there has been 50 days for all parties to go over it, respond, and then there's been amicus briefs, and the court has had 10 days from the time of the last filing, which was on the 15th, to the 25th oral arguments to go over those documents, and their clerks have time to go over those documents. And then on the 25th, there will be oral arguments to fill in the gaps. What I pray and what I hope is that the Supreme Court abides by its own rules, that the public is entitled to the right to a speedy trial as well, and move fast on ruling, not take 3 weeks as is customarily expedient in the federal judiciary, but rule on the matter, the single issue matter of this narrowly tailored question that they have presented within the week of the argument. So at least by the end of the first week of May, because that's, I would say at least in the beginning of May, in the first few days of May. If they do that, then the case can resume in June after other pretrial proceedings are dealt with, because the case is on complete halt at the moment and the court is not taking any filings. So that's what would be necessary for the case to move forward, and for the judiciary to signal that it is not just relaxed and taking this issue and these cases in such a relaxed manner, as if Donald doesn't pose a danger to the public every day he's allowed to spew venom and lies and denigrate our system and undermine the rule of law. So that's what I wanted to say, that I am seeing a very relaxed judiciary. I'm seeing a very normal course of business judiciary, when nothing about Donald Trump's trials, nothing about Donald Trump's actions is common, is normal. And Donald is going out of his way to goad judges to, put him in jail so that he can play the martyr card. And Judge Marchand wants to wait in the New York case and approach that in a measured way, so as to not be called out upon appeal if for abuse of discretion. And in the federal judiciary, if the Supreme Court doesn't signal that there's an urgency in this case and remands the case back to trial within a week of getting a week of the oral arguments, then it sends a message out that the federal judiciary is not seeing Donald Trump as the threat he is to the American people. And that overarching public policy is very important to implement in every judicial ruling, is that timeliness is important. And justice delayed may not be justice denied, but it opens up the gate for more violations of justice, for more violations of gag orders, for more delays in the critical case of criminal conspiracy against the United States and against the American people. It hinders the process of the other cases as well, because the judiciary simply doesn't see it to be an urgent matter. Whereas in reality, it is an urgent matter for the American public to see the full truth about Donald Trump's actions. Anyway, with that said, thank you for being here. And please like and subscribe if you've just arrived and new to my channel. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.